Hey, it's Mr. Shrum, and I am back to pick up where I left off on the digestive and excretory systems tutorial. Uh, we left on the enteric nervous system. The gut has its own nervous system, and it's often referred to as the second brain or the brain in the gut, and it's part of the autonomous nervous system. Your gut contains about 100 million neurons, and the enteric nervous system functions independently. It communicates with the central nervous system through the vagus nerve for normal digestive functions. This link can have either a sympathetic or a parasympathetic effect. Sympathetic stimulation inhibits intestinal secretion and slows down digestion to conserve energy for a fight or flight response. Sympathetic stimulation can cause stomach aches during stressful situations. Alternatively, parasympathetic stimulation quickens the digestive activities, such as activating peristalsis. Additionally, some hormones communicate with the brain to indicate whether we're hungry or full. And here's a picture of the interaction. Then we have a lesson activity dealing with celiac disease. We'll learn about celiac disease and how it affects the intestinal lining and hampers digestive processes. Celiac disease occurs when the immune system has an abnormal reaction to gluten. This is when gluten-free became a big issue when celiac disease became more popular. It entered the pop culture knowledge. More people recognize celiac disease through these symptoms: bloating, chronic diarrhea, constipation, nausea, stomach pain. And this model shows how celiac disease affects the small intestine. Normal villi, and then a damaged villi through celiac disease. And then part A, use the model to explain how this interrupts the normal transportation of energy and other nutrients. The villi are very important for nutrient absorption. It increases the surface area of the small intestine, and in celiac disease, these villi are flattened, and that decreases the surface area of the small intestine. Fewer nutrients get absorbed as a result. The model also shows that celiac disease damages the epithelial cells of the villi. The epithelial cell layer is important for the diffusion of nutrients to the capillaries. Without a healthy epithelial cell layer, fewer nutrients may be absorbed, and the body may not have enough energy to perform its functions. Part B, celiac disease damages the intestinal villi. As a result, nutrients pass through the digestive tract without being broken down and absorbed properly. This indigestion will eventually cause irritation in the intestine as well as gastrointestinal discomfort. Part C, because the villi get damaged, they can't absorb enough nutrients. So children might have slow or stalled growth and development because they don't get enough nutrients. And then finally, part D, it deals with a gluten-free diet and how it's kind of become a new fad diet for the general population. Most people do not need to stay away from gluten. There's no benefit to a gluten-free diet for people who aren't sensitive to gluten. Many websites state benefits of a gluten-free diet, and these benefits range from weight loss to improved heart health. Not a lot of those sites back up the claims with valid scientific research. More credible sites, more scientific research has shown that there's not a lot of support for going gluten-free if you do not have celiac disease. And then it asks you to list your sources. And here are a few samples. National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases in 2016. Going gluten-free just because. Here's what you need to know from the Harvard Health blog. And then learn about gluten-free diets from Medline Plus. Those are older. You can also look for more recent research. But yeah, those were just examples. All right, so that was the digestive system. Now we're going to get into the excretory system. Consuming lots of liquids before a long car ride can lead to a lot more pit stops than originally planned. While this feature of human bodies can be rather annoying, it's also very critical for our survival. The body collects waste products during normal body processes, and the excretory system, which includes the urinary system, excretes these wastes from the body. The body produces byproducts such as urea and carbon dioxide that are a result of metabolic processes. To function normally, the body needs to get rid of these waste products and toxins. Expelling waste from the body is the primary role of the excretory system. The excretory system also regulates the water and salt balance of the body and the pH of our blood. All of these functions are necessary to maintain homeostasis. Let's learn about the parts of the human excretory system and their functions. All right. The human excretory system includes these organs: lungs, skin, and the urinary system. All right. The lungs are really in charge of expelling carbon dioxide, a gaseous waste, through respiration. The skin contains sweat glands, and the skin secretes sweat. And this is a fluid waste that contains excess water and salts. Then your urinary system consists of your kidneys, the ureters, bladder, and urethra. Of these organs, the kidneys are the major organ that filters blood and excretes waste products in the form of urine. So let's focus on the urinary system for now. The main function of this system is to filter waste products from the blood and excrete them in the form of urine. Kidneys are bean-shaped organs that are about the size of your fist. They lie behind the stomach cavity. The outer portion of the kidney is called the renal cortex, and the inner region is called the renal medulla. In the center of the kidney is the renal pelvis. You can find all those here, where urine collection occurs. The kidneys filter wastewater and salt from your blood. Each kidney contains about 1 million filtering units called nephrons. Each one of these little nephrons consists of a long renal tubule that blood enters through. The renal tube is surrounded by a cluster of capillaries called the glomerulus. A cup-shaped sac called the Bowman's capsule surrounds the glomerulus. Below the Bowman's capsule, the renal tubule coils to form the proximal tubule and a hairpin-shaped structure called the loop of Henle. It recoils to form the distal tubule, which enters the collecting duct. Ureters are muscular ducts that transport urine by peristaltic action from the renal pelvis in your kidneys to the bladder. The bladder is a hollow sac-like organ that holds urine, allowing urination to be voluntary and infrequent. As the bladder fills up over time, it sends signals via the nerves to the brain, initiating micturition, and that's the urination reflex. And you can see those here. And then finally, the urethra. That is a narrow duct that transports urine from the bladder to outside of the body. In males, it merges with the genital tract to transport semen. In females, it remains separate. Females have shorter urethras than males. As a result, females are more prone to urinary tract infections, known as UTIs, because harmful bacteria can easily reach the bladder. And I think I will stop after this formation of urine slide. And then we'll get back to it in another part. The formation of urine is a three-step process. We have filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Filtration, blood enters the kidneys through the renal artery and branches to reach the glomerulus. The pressure of the blood causes water and substances dissolved in water, such as urea and ions, to filter through the capillaries and enter the Bowman's capsule. Unfilterable components such as large proteins, white blood cells, and red blood cells are too large to pass through. Reabsorption. The filtrate in the Bowman's capsule winds through the renal tubule and the proximal tubule, loop of Henle, and the connecting tubule. Any useful substances such as glucose and minerals are reabsorbed into the blood. Secretion. At the same time, the nephron tubules secrete waste products, such as toxins and drug molecules that the body needs to eliminate into the collecting tubules. And this waste product is urine. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Filtration, reabsorption, secretion, and then finally excretion. So I'll leave you here on this question, and I will be right back, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.